In today's video, we're going to be diving into the upcoming pattern where we have a lot going on. We have multiple severe weather days that we're looking forward to. In yesterday's video, we talked about how I think most of the severe weather is going to be taking aim at the Dixie Alley as opposed to your more classic, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska. But I do want to emphasize that a lot of these are going to be really widespread and they're going to be moving from region to region, and pretty much a lot of different areas are going to be impacted. I just think that the focus is going to be on the Dixie Alley here. So I want to really just focus in on that, the temperature pattern, among other storms that we have ongoing. So let's take a look at tomorrow afternoon on Mother's Day here, Sunday, May 12th, and we already have kind of what seems like a contradiction of what I just said. I promise it'll all make sense later on, but we do see the classic area here: Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas dealing with some thunderstorms in here. We have 1,001 over New Mexico and the western regions of Texas here. Lots of Gulf moisture being infused here into the Texas region. We also see 1,006 up here over Iowa and a 996 up there in Canada. So we can tell that a lot of this is working together, all three of these lows. We even have some lower pressure offshore of the Northeast bringing some storminess. So a lot of different areas dealing with some storms. Nothing too major though for tomorrow, thankfully. Monday here on the 13th, I think things are going to be picking up a bit. We see that areas across the deeper south regions underneath this 1,002 we have over Kansas are going to be experiencing some thunderstorms here, especially Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, into Georgia and Tennessee here. So I think this is an area to watch for sure. And even areas more northward here like Kansas and Missouri, as well as Oklahoma, could be impacted also. By the time we reach Tuesday on the 14th, I think this is really going to take aim at the southeast here. So again, Tuesday the 14th, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia here, as well as some of Tennessee and Kentucky, really getting the brunt of this here. I think that there's likely a warm front somewhere in there. Appears like a cold front somewhere around that point, although it's really, really hard to pinpoint. And then likely seeing some warm and humid air surging up the eastern seaboard by this point. We also have 1,004 millibar low pressure center there over South Dakota, bringing some precipitation up to the north central and some of the northwestern states there. Again, all for Tuesday on the 14th. Wednesday the 15th, we see a 998 millibar low pressure center over Virginia here, bringing a lot of storminess here to the eastern states. We see probably thunderstorms for Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and Kentucky here. All the areas kind of adjacent or south of that low. I would assume to the north that we're likely dealing with more showery activity, although this can vary and this could be different, but that is what I'm seeing on screen here at this point. And meanwhile, so we have system number 1 still ongoing here for Virginia, like I mentioned, but we have system number 2 really wanting to get going over, again, these classic areas and likely kind of restarting everything. So again, moving region to region, as you can see, they're not just impacting the Dixie Alley area. It's really everywhere, but a lot of the worst of it is near that Gulf Coast area. So Thursday here on May 16th, what we have is 1,004 getting going here for western Texas. A lot of heavy thunderstorms here for portions of Texas there into Louisiana. Again, Thursday on the 16th. Don't know if I remember to say that. 999 up here also for North Dakota, bringing some storms up there, likely showery activity, I would say. We even have an offshore low here, offshore of the Mid-Atlantic, bringing some showers and thunderstorms perhaps here to this Mid-Atlantic area. Now, as we keep going towards Friday the 17th, we see that our low here really wants to curve northward here for Tennessee, which is a pretty classic look. But we end up getting the low here over Tennessee. A lot of Gulf moisture underneath this, and likely another day of potential severe weather here in this Dixie Alley region. Similarly to yesterday, I don't know how exactly impactful this is going to be. That's very hard to say, the intensity of these events. It's much easier to show the location and as well as just the overall kind of pattern, and that's all we can see at this point, which does steer a lot of this activity that was over these plains, the classic plains, for months and months here, down to this more southeast area and Dixie Alley area along the Gulf of Mexico. So this is the shift that we're talking about yesterday and into today about this severe weather. Now, Saturday on the 18th, we have a 997 here over some of the Great Lakes and a lot of thunderstorms and showers over the eastern states once again. Also a 995 up here, so these are working in tandem here together, and that's why we see a lot of storminess along these kind of Great Lakes area, Ohio Valley, Northeast, down through the Mid-Atlantic. A lot of different areas seeing this. Sunday on the 19th here, we see the Northeast dealing with quite a bit of showers and thunderstorms perhaps as well. Then Monday on the 20th, we get a weaker low, 1005 here over the Mid-Atlantic. Isolated and scattered thunderstorms throughout these deeper south and Mid-Atlantic areas once again, with some stronger lows up to the north. So 997 for Canada, 999 up there in eastern Canada. So a lot of activity overall for the east is what I would say the trend is. And by Tuesday, we can see a 994 getting going over eastern Colorado. If this verifies, this could be a very major severe weather event again for these classic areas actually. I definitely am curious to see if this sticks around, but it is at hours 240, so definitely something we should take with a grain of salt. But seeing these eastern Colorado originated lows is definitely a sign that Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas need to be on high alert for more activity. So I know that was a lot. We saw a lot of activity on this model run for this particular area here, which happens to be the Dixie Alley. We saw a little bit in here as well, but it seems like the heart of that activity has shifted to here for a little bit on the models at least, and I'm interested to see if that will verify, as this severe weather season that we've had has really been centered over your classic areas like the Dakotas, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. That is where we've seen a lot of our activity so far, but it seems like there is a big shift happening. Total precipitation, again, really just shows all of these areas dealing with highly above average activity though, starting in Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, all the way eastward and northward towards the northeast here. This is going to be a very active 10-day period, it appears, for all of these areas, which means that the severe weather isn't going anywhere, and likely we're going to have some more major events ahead. Total snowfall, I'm surprised there's still a lot of it around. The kind of more western mountain ranges like the Cascades and the Sierra Nevada don't look too bad, but the Rockies still seeing quite a bit. Although I do think that once we reach kind of this May 20th timeframe, we're going to see this finally dying down, hopefully. Your temperature pattern looks cooler for a few days here over the east. We do see a warm-up starting by Thursday, Friday timeframe next week. And that really actually gets a lot more dramatic as we move into the early to mid portion of the week following. It looks like there could be more cooldowns on the way, but overall a warming trend in the long range as we approach June seems to be the trend here, with more of a negative look out west. And definitely I know a lot of you are going to be like, of course it's going to be warmer as we're approaching June, but it's all compared to normal. So this is compared to the normal of May 26th. Warmer than what is typical for that specific date. So yes, it will of course be warming day over day over day, but we're also going to be above average for whatever is average on that particular date. Now, the severe weather outlook here for day one, we do have a couple of general thunderstorm risk areas like Florida, the Ohio Valley into the Mid-Atlantic, the north central states here, and then some of the deeper south like the Four Corner states and down through Texas. This is all where we expect general thunderstorms, but severe weather is of course always possible, so keep that in mind. Your darker green areas like North Dakota and Minnesota, West Virginia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and then New Mexico down through Texas are going to be your marginal risk areas. That's our level 1 risk, and that's where we expect isolated severe weather to occur. And then we have a little yellow area here over Texas. That is your slight risk, level 2, and that is where we expect scattered about severe weather to potentially occur. Day 2 here, we have 2 general thunderstorm risk areas. A lot of the central states here. This is for Sunday, May 12th, by the way. And then one there for Montana. We also have a marginal risk for portions of Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana there. Day 3, things are looking a little bit more intense as we get that Dixie Alley going, like I mentioned. One very big general thunderstorm risk area. A marginal risk for Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Alabama. And then a big slight risk for eastern Texas, almost all of Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and then southwestern Mississippi there. And this could even get upgraded over time, so keep that in mind as well. We're going to be watching this very, very closely. But as of now, this seems like the first day of our next severe weather event. And there is no extended day outlook, so this one is it for now. But we will be tracking this severe weather, and I think the Gulf states are going to need to be on high alert for more of it coming up very, very soon. Anyway, guys, be sure to subscribe as we do upload every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.